Let's imagine something for a second. You're on a trip in Morocco. You've just finished dinner at a little rooftop restaurant, music on the streets, the air smells like mint tea and spice, and somehow, some way, something goes wrong. There's a misunderstanding, and you find yourself in a prison cell with no passport and no phone. It's just you, four walls, and panic. And the guard comes out to tell you that you can only call one person to help you. Who's the first person you'd call? Who's that one person that comes to mind? The person you know would pick up, would figure it out, and get you home. The one who wouldn't freeze, wouldn't ask for details, wouldn't say, that's crazy. They'd say, give me a second, I'm on it. That person has agency. They move through life like a cause, not an effect. They don't wait for permission, they don't outsource their decisions. They trust themselves to handle whatever comes. Now here's the real question. Are you that person for anyone? Because the answer to that question reveals how much agency you actually live with. You see, agency is not confidence, it's not power or privilege, it's ownership. It's the inner conviction that no matter what happens, I have options. And you've met people like this. It's that person that's always calm when there's chaos. Their car breaks down and they're already calling a tow truck. Their flight gets canceled and they've already rebooked before the announcement ends. They don't waste energy on why me. They go straight to what now? That's agency. The ability to influence your circumstances instead of being defined by them. And here's what's wild. Two people can face the exact situation. One will collapse and the other will create. You see, most people live in a low agency loop. They say things like, it's not fair, someone should do something, I wish I could. But those words are coded messages that simply mean, I'm powerless. And when you repeat them long enough, your brain starts believing them. You stop taking initiative, you stop risking, and you start waiting for the boss to promote you, waiting for the right time to start, waiting for the fear to go away. Low agency living is exhausting. Not because you're doing too much, but because you're doing nothing that matters. You're running on reaction instead of direction. So what's different about the person you'd call in that prison cell? They live by a different code, one that looks like this. Number one, they drop the victim language. They don't say, I can't. They say, I haven't yet. They don't say, they didn't. They say, I'll figure it out. Language is identity. When you speak in possibility, your brain starts scanning solutions instead of evidence that you're stuck. Two, they decide fast. Agency dies in hesitation. They understand that clarity comes after action, not before it. They make the call, learn, and adapt. That's how they outpace everyone waiting for the perfect plan. I'm gonna move you down this way so that the sun doesn't hit me. Three, they keep promises to themselves. If you don't trust yourself, you'll hesitate at every turn. High agency people build self-trust by doing what they said they would do, especially when no one's watching. Because confidence isn't built by hype, it's built by integrity. Number four, they value resourcefulness over resources. If the door's locked, they find a window. If there's no window, they build one. They don't complain about what they lack, they create with what they have. Number five, they surround themselves with doers. Agency is contagious, and when you're around people who take initiative, you start seeing possibilities everywhere. You rise to their standard of action. And number six, they detach from outcomes. They move without waiting for certainty. Because the point isn't always to win, it's to learn fast enough to win later. I find it so interesting that most of us have been raised in systems that train us out of agency. School taught us to raise our hands. Jobs taught us to wait for approval. Social media taught us to seek validation. And slowly we build our lives around permission instead of purpose. We forgot how to decide for ourselves. We forgot that we can start before we're chosen. We forgot that the world bends towards the people who choose to move first. When I first started my business, I didn't have a roadmap. I had no savings, no connection, no plan B. Just $200 and a laptop that overheated every 2 hours. I had 1,000 reasons to wait, but waiting was just a prettier word for fear. So I moved. I reached out to people who intimidated me. I said yes to projects I didn't fully understand yet, and I learned in motion. And that's when I learned something super important. Agency grows every time you choose movement over misery. You don't get more capable by knowing more. You get more capable by doing more. Every risk you take expands the space inside you that says, I can handle this. That's why people with high agency seem fearless. They're just familiar with uncertainty. They've survived enough of it to stop fearing it. So how do you become a person of high agency? How do you build that muscle in real life? Step one, audit your language. Catch every sentence that starts with I can't or I have to. Replace it with I'm choosing to or I'm choosing not to. It'll feel awkward at first, but it'll rewire your brain to see yourself as the one holding the pen. Step 2, make micro decisions fast. Start small. Reply to that email, send that text, pick the restaurant. Every tiny decision strengthens your decision-making muscle, and soon you'll trust yourself with bigger ones. Step 3, take radical responsibility. When something goes wrong, own your part, even if it's just 1%. It's not about blame, it's about power. Because if you caused even just 1% of the problem, you have at least 1% of the solution. Step 4, build proof through action. Confidence isn't a feeling you wait for, it's evidence you create. The more you act, the more data you collect that says, I can do hard things. And step 5, stop negotiating with fear. Fear will always have something to say, but high agency people don't argue with it. They say noted and they move anyway. You know, there's something magnetic about people who live with agency. You can feel it when they walk into a room. They're grounded, not frantic, clear, not cocky. You trust them because they trust themselves. They have a kind of quiet certainty, the one that says, I may not know how yet, but I know I'll figure it out. And when life throws chaos their way, they don't crumble. They adapt, they ask better questions, they make better moves. That's exactly why we call them in emergencies. We sense that their belief is stronger than our fear. So ask yourself, really ask, if someone you love was in that prison cell in Morocco, would they call you? Would they trust you to show up calm, clear, relentless, and find a way out? Or would they think they'd worry, they'd ask for advice before they acted? Be honest, because that gap between who you are and who you want to be, that's the space where agency is born. All right, sun is really getting me today. At least I go right here. Now, you don't need a crisis to prove your agency. You can practice it in the smallest ways every day. When your day derails, do you spiral or do you pivot? When someone ghosts you, do you chase or do you move on? When your plan fails, do you quit or do you reroute? Every choice is a vote for who you're becoming. And the irony is, the more agency you develop, the less dramatic life becomes. Because you stop waiting for the world to change. You start realizing that you can move through it as you are. And here's what changes when you really embody this. You stop asking for permission. You stop needing validation. You stop fearing failure because failure becomes feedback. You begin to operate like a cause in motion. You attract people who trust you, opportunities that stretch you, and clarity that can't be taught in any course. Life stops happening to you and starts happening through you. So here's today's bold action. Be the person you'd call if you were stuck in a cell. Think of one situation right now in your life that feels stuck. The thing you've been waiting on clarity for. Maybe it's a business move, a conversation, a dream you've been postponing. And ask yourself, if I had full agency, what's the next move I'd make today? And do that. Not tomorrow, not after another podcast, today. Because movement creates momentum, and momentum builds agency. Every bold person you admire, the creators, the leaders, the innovators, they all started with one small act of agency. They didn't know it would work, they just knew they were done waiting. You don't need to be fearless to move. You just need to believe that you can handle whatever happens next. That's agency. And when you live from that place, boldness isn't something you try. It's something you are. So next time you feel stuck, remember the Morocco metaphor. Picture that cell, 4 walls, panic, and no way out. And realize you can be that person for yourself, for your family, for your friends. Because the world doesn't need more people waiting to be rescued. It needs more people who know they can rescue themselves. That's what it means to live bold. That's what it means to have agency. So this is day 13 out of 100 bold, and I'm going strong. I have a fire in me, and I am so grateful that I even started in the first place. I had no idea if I could even keep up past day 10. And here I am, and I'm so happy. And you know what? It's actually getting easier for me. I love it. And I hope that whoever you are on the other side, if you're stumbling upon this video today, or maybe even in a year or 2 from now, I hope that you could take these words and apply them to your life. I really believe that the world needs more people like you. People who are bold, people who are willing to step up and go figure it out. People who have agency. And so if you want to start your streak, just comment below day 13 out of 100 and do it. Why waste your time when you could be taking action today? I appreciate you. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you have an amazing day and that you crush it in everything that you do. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. And remember, to act bold, you need to be kid brave again. I loved that talk.